Okay. Oh, look at my glasses. Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good afternoon. Such a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. It's the weather is dark. Maybe I should show you the the weather. And I, for some reason, I am just not in the mood of doing anything. Do you have this kind of time, moment, spirit, just not in the mood of doing anything, and you know in your heart that it is not right, just wasting time, but I just do not have it. So, so I think after half an hour, after 1 hour, after some time, this period time will be gone. I will be okay. I will be in a good mood. I will be active cooking or doing other things. Any time in my day, during my day, there is some period of time that I am just not the best of myself. So I want to take opportunity of this uninspired time to chat with you and make this moment into something benefit me. If it benefits you, that's good. If you can echo with my trouble, with my struggle, with my thought, or otherwise, I'm sorry for your time. You can do other things to learn something. But sometimes we just need a moment of quietness, a moment of reflection. Now let's see the sky. So as you can see, here is the sky, and this is the lighting. And I have a computer. I have computer lighting also. It's just very gray, and I use a piece of napkin to cover up the light so it's not too bright. Okay, let's come back. And I am just feeling that I am good for nothing. Nothing is good. The hairstyle is not good, and the lighting is not good. And just one of these depressing moment, or one of these not confident moment. I do not like 披头散发, long hair, losing up. Just not my style. Okay, let me first do one thing at a time. See if I can make it a little bit better. At least from the bottom of my heart, I will not feel so. Okay, whatever. It's not important. It's not important. So I think one thing is that when you have no idea, there are some problems. Let's evaluate, explain, and process why I am having this down moment. First, biologically, my biological clock is like this. Every day, afternoon time is my down time, is my low time. Maybe a cup of tea will be good. There are a lot of advertisements advertising a special kind of coffee or tea things. Maybe I should drink some tea. Yeah, I got new teacup and tea things I want to Very soon I will show you. Okay, we will do a tea video. Okay, so one thing is my biological clock, bio clock. That is the main contribute of my low spirit every day at this time. If I go to work, I have no choice. I have to be 100% agilent and cautious and uptight, because I teach class, younger students, you have to be like this. And then after I finish the job, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I come back home, I'm completely collapsed. Collapsed. I will be completely collapsed and just fall down to sleep, and for a power booster for a couple of minutes or for a couple of hours, and then I will regain my energy and come back to my evening. Night is my day. I would prefer not to sleep and only awake. I do not like to sleep. I know I got some friends say, why you do not like to sleep? Everyone is different. Same as some people like to sleep, I do not like to sleep. So one thing is my biological clock. Another thing, the weather is good. The weather is very gloomy and dark, and I maybe go out to driving out, but the road is dangerous and I do not even have a car right now. Just all these contribute to this. And another one of the biggest curse is that I am staying inside. It is very important at this time when I feel down, I start some movement, whether it's go out to have a walk, to go to supermarket, to buy a soya sauce, to buy a pocket of popcorn, to buy milk, yogurt, to buy something, to buy a salad, go out, or go to the outside, or just to go along the street, or at least go to the kitchen to do some cooking or something. As long as I get myself up, do the movement, it will change the dynamic. So maybe this is something we can all learn something from and rethink a little bit from. What do you think? Let me know what is your way of just counter that low spirit, that gloomy mood, that inaction moment. What you do, maybe we can all get benefit from it. Yeah. So I decide to use this time to talk. I think talking is also a movement, and that will help me to think through things. Sometimes we are quiet, thinking through things. We give ourselves the opportunity, the luxury of debating between ourselves. Sometimes we can speak it out. And what I am doing right now is speaking it out. And speaking out the two ideas or many ideas and try to speak it clear. And use vocabulary, use sentences, use sentence structures to help me, to guide me, to think through something. Or maybe I cannot even think through, but at least I am in action mood. That helps me. Or just to look at my hairstyle and think how to make me look more pleasant, less down, more pleasant, more upbeat. Yeah. Still, I have trouble to find that. And I start to think some places can be your curse. Some places can be your place of inspiration. Every time when I go to swim, when I do the swimming, I use that time of thinking because my body is moving. The water is moving. I am outside getting fresh air, and it's cold. Everything just to get me in a good mood, and ideas bang, 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 seems everywhere. And I have so many ideas. I even write it down. But once I am sitting down, once I am settled in one enclosed place, all of them are gone. I just cannot find an idea. Or I am ashamed to talk about the ideas I am thinking about. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, not in the mood of doing painting, not in the mood of doing the project I am doing. Now let me tell you stories. Maybe I can do that. So this is the story of a very dear friend. I have met her the first time. So long time ago, I have done a podcast. There was one friend and a YouTube friend, and she said she would like to interview me and to do a podcast. So on December 31st, we met. She sent me a message a couple of days ago, said, I want to see you before the end of the year. I said, let's do it. So we met, and it's so inspiring. It's so enlightening. First, she brought me out in my town, just in my town, walking distance or biking distance. It was raining, so I drove there. And as I was waiting for her to come, I went there a little bit early, and also rain traffic, they could not arrive at the exact time. So I could have the luxury to see our downtown stores. There was a bookstore, there was a plant store, there were coffee shops. It's so good, so eye-opening. I have been inside for so long, and go to a bookstore to see the new design of books, new journals, pens, socks, and all things. It brings up so much ideas. And then I went to the coffee shop, so beautiful cakes and different styles, different decoration, and it's just to bring everything up. And then went to another shop which has a beautiful plant and all the painting of leaf foliage. It brings a lot of idea. So I am so happy. I was so happy at that moment, as if 刘姥姥进大观园, as if a pig in the mud, as if a country girl suddenly get to see the magnificent cosmopolitan world. Anyway, it's just so good, so good. So so after some time, she came and we had a chat, and that was such an inspiring chat. A lot of her stories, her life stories. Maybe I would not like to share too much detail of it, but it's just so good to see your friend having a life she enjoys, having a life that she makes decisions, she made effort and make decision. For example, about job, we talk about job, and I talked about I am from full-time. I made a decision and talk with my administration to get reduced duty and work for part-time so that I can do more of my things and I can focus on one particular thing, that is teaching art, instead of my mind everywhere and my attention and time everywhere, which is good. So I talked about this, and she talked about her her goal in life, her reflection in life, putting more attention on her health, on her self-development, and reduce job responsibility, and looking for new things and all this. It's just so good, so encouraging. Those girls talk together, and it makes me feel so good to get out. And I have a habit from my family came back, there is noise, I get distracted because I can hear. Do I have ADHD that I got distracted so easily, so often? And so in life, we need stimulus. So I admire her courage to write me, to send me a message, shall we meet up? And she had a goal. There was a time she made herself a goal to do a podcast of 100 people. That reminds me of one very famous Chinese author. I forgot her name. I think that was 40 years ago, about 40 years ago. There was a very famous Chinese author, a young lady, 100个人的100个故事. So she decided to interview 100 people anywhere. There was one story about she met a guy, interviewed a guy who is in Chinese New Year going back home. You know, Chinese New Year going back home, the train station is one of the most fantastic thing in the world. If you are not in China, you will not be able to understand the scale of movement. The whole country, people moving around, going back home to see family because of Chinese population. And at that time, there was not so many cars, so we use train. And the train station is packed. And people waiting for the train cannot get a ticket, try to spend money to get extra money to buy a ticket, and all these things. So she interviewed one couple, I think a guy, and still speaks with a particular dialect. And she asked, how did you get through the night for going back? And I forgot all those other stories, but one thing I remember so clearly, that it was a couple, newly married, a couple or something. It was cold in Chinese New Year. It was the coldest winter time. And they waited, and they were so cold. They stayed together, and the wife, every now and then, 1 hour and half an hour, go out to buy a huntun, a dumpling soup. And Chinese dumpling soup, the local people eat dumpling soup, is different from here in America. The dumpling soup is huge with big meatball. It's actually just a bowl of hot water with soya sauce, with onion, pepper, or maybe chili pepper, very hot soup with a little leaves of pasta, and inside some meat or almost nothing. So the wife every now and then go to get a bowl of dumpling soup for 1 cent, 2 cents, 50 cents to keep warm. I still remember it, and this reminds me every time I eat my dumpling soup, I think about that. So come back to this young lady I met on December 31st. And she wanted to meet 100 people, make interview. And then she just make phone calls to people. And for example, if she went to a restaurant, a coffee shop, and find it fun to talk with the boss, with the people, I want to do an interview. I want to do a report of you, a podcast. And then sometimes she got agreed. Sometimes they will say, oh, you need to talk to my boss, and then we decide. Things like that. I have met that kind of situation. When you talk with some of the employee in a coffee shop, that employee is the barista is the one you admire, but he will not have the chance to talk because the boss will need to talk. Things like that. So she has already met 20 people. I think I am one of these 20 people. And she will keep on making this. So it's just so inspiring. Everyone has a story to tell. And everyone in our life have some stories. And let me see if my video is okay. I think the recording is good. The other time I did such a video, long talking, half an hour. At the end of the day, at the end of the recording, only realize that the button is not pressed well. So all my talk is just zzz, white noise sound. So, start to do something. Get into action. It could be a book, reading. It could be writing something. It could be do a cup of tea, drink a cup of tea. It could be make some cookie, anything. Get into action. Get into action. Ideas comes from talking, comes from doing. And on the first day of the new year, we went to, yesterday was first day of the new year. Yeah, anyway, California has been so dry for so long, and there were some creeks near us. I remember for 10 years or something, I never seen water. Then there is from the next door neighborhood community, some people posted some pictures. So my husband and I, we biked into a neighborhood park and saw water in the creek. Oh, it was so good. And that day was particularly bright sunshine. It was so good. Just a very brief opening of sunshine. It was even more than the biggest celebration. Everyone in the little town comes out to see the water. It's so good. Oh, so good. Get out, standing up, do something. Okay, I am going to get some hot water. I am going to make some cookie. I will see you in another video. The best thing, I do not see you in another video. You are doing your things. That is the best. I will be happy, or maybe or happier if you are doing your things, if you are living your life, if you are not watching my video. I will be happier. Thank you very, very much. I love you. I really do. Do. Goo, bye, bye.